The Sovereign Kitchen. What if I told you there is a place in North America where the language, the laws, and the very air you breathe feel like a total departure from the rest of the continent? A place that is technically a Canadian province, but identifies as a nation within a nation. This is Quebec. It is the only territory on the continent where French isn't just spoken, it is the law of the land, fiercely protected by a people who have spent 400 years refusing to disappear. But beyond the politics, Quebec quietly gave the world some of the most shocking and soulful food you've ever tasted. Poutine, smoked meat, wood-fired bagels, and a pudding born from the desperation of the Great Depression. These aren't just Canadian foods. To call them Canadian is a mistake that will get you a very long lecture in a Montreal bistro. When these are Quebecois, and today we are going deep into the forest in the city to decode the 10 dishes that were either invented here, perfected here, or are so deeply embedded in the soil that no outside version can compete. Welcome to Top Taste Bites. Let's decode the soul of La Belle Province, the physics of the squeak, the Poutine Wars fries, cheese curds, gravy, 3 ingredients, yet they form one of the most contested food origin stories in history. Poutine emerged in rural Quebec in the late 1950s, but its exact birthplace is a battlefield. At least 3 towns, Warwick, Drummondville, and Saint-Jean-sur-Richelieu, all claim to be the true ground zero. The legend in Warwick says a trucker asked for curds in his fries, and the owner replied, "That will make a poutine," Quebec slang for a mess. But the DNA of a real poutine is scientific. It requires fresh, unaged, squeaky curds that haven't been refrigerated. The curd acts as an insulator. It must soften under peppery brown gravy, but never melt. If it doesn't squeak against your teeth, it isn't poutine. As this dish went global, it was Canadianized, a move many in Quebec see as cultural theft. For them, poutine is a symbol of rural pride, a working man's mess that conquered the world's palate. Tortiere, 400 years of midnight mass. It's midnight in Quebec. The snow is heavy, and in almost every family home, a tortiere is waiting. This spiced meat pie isn't just a recipe, it's a 17th century survival relic. It represents 400 years of French settler tradition. In Montreal, it's a shallow pie of ground pork and veal seasoned with cloves and cinnamon. But in the Saguenay region, it's a massive deep dish construction layered with wild game like venison and rabbit. They don't even look like the same food, yet the passion with which people defend their regional version is legendary. The name comes from the tort, a passenger pigeon used as the original filling until it was hunted to extinction. The pie outlived the bird. It is the taste of Christmas, the taste of survival, and the taste of a culture that refuses to let its hearth go cold. The sugar pie. Alchemy in a crust. Before Quebec had luxury, it had maple trees and cold winters. The tarte au sucre, or sugar pie, is an act of culinary alchemy. It's just brown sugar, cream, flour, and butter. That's it. Yet it tastes like the most complex caramel you've ever experienced. This was stretch food, made by generations of women who took basic pantry staples to feed a community. It is a masterclass in turning poverty into a delicacy. While modern Montreal patisseries sell it for a premium, the soul of the dish belongs to the rural women who used it to keep their families energized through the logging season. It is pure, unadulterated sweetness born from the harshest conditions on the continent. Montreal smoked meat, the brisket rebellion. In the late 1800s, Jewish immigrants arrived in Montreal, bringing brisket curing traditions that sparked a North American food war. Montreal smoked meat versus New York pastrami. They are not the same. Montreal smoked meat is dry cured for 10 days with a spice blend heavy on black pepper and coriander. It's then cold smoked, steamed, and crucially, hand sliced thick while hot. It's darker, spicier, and fattier than pastrami. Eating at Schwartz's Deli on Boulevard Saint Laurent is a rite of passage. New Yorkers might argue, but Montrealers aren't listening. They know their brisket is the spicy, smoky evolution of the craft, a sandwich that requires a pile of napkins and a total lack of ego. The Montreal bagel, wood, honey, and fire. The Montreal bagel is a total defiance of the New York standard. It's smaller, denser, and sweeter. The dough is made with egg and honey, boiled in honey water, and then hand-flung into a massive wood-burning oven. The wood fire is non-negotiable. It gives the bagel a charged, smoky complexity. This created a century-long rivalry between Fairmount and St-Hubert bagels. Both are open 24 hours. Both claim to be the original. Every morning, thousands of people choose a side. To eat a Montreal bagel fresh from the flame is to realize that breadier bagels are just masquerading as the real thing. Cretons, the morning spread. To an outsider, it looks like a gray meat paste. To a Quebecer, it is Cretons, and breakfast is impossible without it. It's a spiced pork fat spread, slow-cooked with onions and milk, and seasoned with cinnamon and cloves. It is a cousin to French roulettes, but coarser and heartier. This was the high-calorie fuel for 19th century loggers. It remains a staple of the Sugar Shack breakfast, a savory, salty reminder of the province's blue-collar roots. It is one of the few dishes that has stayed almost entirely within the province, a secret kept by those who know how to start a winter morning correctly. Sipati, the ancient game pie. The sipate, or six-pat, is a monumental, multi-layered game meat pie. It involves layering thick sheets of dough with cubed venison, moose, and rabbit, slow cooking in a cast-iron pot for 10 hours. It likely evolved from British sea pies, but Quebec made it primal. It's a hearth dish that predates modern restaurants. Some families start the prep 2 days in advance, letting the wild game juices soak into the pastry. It is one of the most ancient dishes still eaten in North America, a taste of the forest that hasn't changed since the 1700s. Tortiere d'érable, taffy on snow. This dish predates European settlement entirely, when indigenous peoples were harvesting maple sap long before the French arrived. Tortiere d'érable, maple taffy on snow, is a spring ritual. Hot syrup is poured onto fresh snow and rolled onto a wooden stick. It is the centerpiece of the cabane à sucre, Sugar Shack experience. You can't recreate it in a kitchen. It requires the cold air and the ritual. It is a celebratory sweetness, a sign that the winter is finally breaking. Pouding chomeur. The unemployed person's pudding. Born in 1929 during the Great Depression, Pouding chomeur was invented by female factory workers in Montreal. It's a simple cake batter poured over hot caramel or maple sauce. As it bakes, the sauce sinks and the cake rises, creating a self-saucing masterpiece. It was a shame food born of deprivation that became a national treasure. Modern chefs add whiskey and sea salt, but the original version, made with whatever was in the cupboard, is a moving tribute to the ingenuity of a people who refused to go hungry. St-Hubert. The chicken that united a province. In 1951, St-Hubert opened in Montreal and defined rotisserie chicken culture. But the real story is the sauce, a sweet, tangy, peppery BBQ gravy that is now bottled and sold as a staple in every Quebec pantry. St-Hubert is a massive empire that has stubbornly stayed within the province, refusing to dilute its identity. It represents the Sunday family dinner, a reliable comfort that belongs to Quebec alone. It's not just fast food, it's a cultural landmark. The taste of identity, Quebec's food is its language. From the squeak of the curd to the char of the bagel, to these 10 dishes are the evidence of a 400-year struggle to remain unique. While the world copies the recipes, they can't copy the spirit. As long as the wood fire burns in the Mile End, the culture remains sovereign. Now you know the origin. Stay curious. This is Top Taste Bites. Stay hungry, stay ahead.